Chapter 1. Great Discovery Unknown System, 2157. On board the Council exploration vessel Celoria, Captain Elena Tavelos paced back and forth through the CIC as her multiracial crew went about their duties. She skimmed through her datapad again, making sure the ship's readouts were normal. It was unnecessary. Her sensor operator would immediately notify her if anything unexpected came up. Still, she liked to be well informed of everything that occurred on her ship. The Council entrusted her with not only the command of one of the Citadel's elite exploration vessels, but also the lives of her crew, which she took very seriously. "How much longer until we exit FTL?" she asked. "We will be arriving in unknown system in 2 minutes," came the quick reply of Forbin, the ship's Solarian navigational officer. "Good, bring the Soloria's scanners and sensors online. I want a full scan of the system as soon as we enter." Elena was tasked with opening a new relay path to the unexplored Tarogan arm of the galaxy. This large swath of the galaxy, an area which spanned roughly 15% of the Milky Way, has perplexed scientists for millennia. The mass relays reached every corner of the galaxy except the Tarogan arm. There were many theories as to why that was. Many believed that the Protheans, the creators of the mass relays, had not yet developed the mass relay network there before their mysterious disappearance. Others believed that the Council has simply not encountered any relays entering the area. The more wild extranet theories claimed that the Tarogan arm was actually the place of origin of the Protheans themselves, who, after conquering the galaxy, for some unknown reason receded back to the Tarogan arm and cut off all relays entering into their territory. Whatever the truth was, the Council would soon find out, thanks to the discovery of a dormant relay on the outer edge of Council space. This relay, dubbed Relay 314, was accidentally discovered by a Volus mining corporation that was scanning for unmapped resource-rich systems. After contacting the Citadel of the Find, a science team was dispatched to investigate. What they found stunned them. According to the relay's navigation logs, its connecting relay led into the Tarogan arm. Furthermore, the connecting relay was a prime relay, which connected to dozens of other relays across the unexplored area of the galaxy. With the coordinate location retrieved, an exploration team was sent to open the connecting prime relay. Captain Elena was selected by the Council Exploration Committee, or CEC, to open the network. Unlike other Asari, who began to settle down once they hit the matron stage, Elena had chosen to continue doing what she loved, exploring. And with more than 150 years of command experience in the CEC, she was the prime choice for this mission. "All systems are online and functional. We will be exiting FTL in 1 minute, preparing FTL exit protocols." Lenora, the ship's sensor operator, reported. Elena nodded and once again looked at the briefings from the science report of Relay 314. Being chosen to be one of the first to explore the mysterious and long-romanticized Tarogan arm was a dream come true for her. Deep down, she was hoping to the goddess that she would make some incredible discovery, perhaps an ancient alien civilization or a new spacefaring race. However, she knew not to get her hopes up. Odds were that they would encounter nothing more interesting than uninhabitable rocks and asteroids. "Exiting in 5, 4, 3, 2? As soon as the ship exited FTL, the crew went into action. The Celoria was equipped with the best sensor technology in Council space. Elena watched the main display screen as information flooded in. Lenora listed through the important data. "Yellow dwarf star, 5 planets, the 4th being a gas giant. 1 large asteroid belt on the outer rim, but what is it?" Elena asked, sensing Lenora's hesitation. "I can't find the relay. It should be... Wait, here it is." She brought up the 5th planet in the system. "The relay should be orbiting this planet. There's only one object orbiting it." The moon of the planet appeared on screen. "The relay must be here, encased in ice." "Are you sure?" "There's no other possibility," Lenora replied confidently. Elena frowned. Mass relays being encased in ice was not unheard of, but it was rare. It usually occurred to relays that have been dormant for a long time. It wouldn't hinder the team's mission. As soon as they send the mass relay code, the relay would receive the transmission and power up. The ice would then break off as the ancient machine came to life. It did mean, however, that they would probably have to wait a day or two for the debris to clear up after activation before going through back to Relay 314. "All right, send the activation signal, and get me a more thorough scan of the system." Lenora resumed her scanning as Corvin, the Turian signal operator, nodded and sent the signal to the relay, upon read. I'm not sure what to make of it, but one thing is certain, it's definitely artificial. Elena's heart skipped a beat. This is exactly what she dreamed of. Immediately, she analyzed the situation and asked the relevant questions. Is there any radio signals or signs of life? Lenora shook her head. No, nothing. The debris orbiting the planet are broken up and fractured. But they were obviously ships of some kind. Perhaps part of a space station even, given the size of the debris. Destroyed ships, a shattered space station, a large planetary scar. A clear picture of what once occurred here was now becoming apparent. It was obvious that some kind of battle took place, and by the amount of debris, it had to be a big one. Her mind wandered on the subject. Was this a species that fought a civil war? Or was it a fight between two different species? Was this a home world or a colony of a spacefaring race? Did whoever once occupied this planet still exist? What else can you tell me about this planet, she asked. Only what the preliminary scans found. The planet is small, roughly 4,000 kilometers, and very mountainous. There are no natural satellites. A third of its surface is covered in water. Lenora turned to her captain expectantly. We have to get closer for a more detailed analysis. Elena let a satisfying smile cross her lips. Her objective was to open the relay and travel back through it. But with the ice still clearing, they would have to wait 20 to 30 hours until it was safe. She wasn't going to waste that time drifting by the relay when ancient ruins were just waiting to be explored. Forbin, bring us in orbit around the planet. Corvin, send a message to the Citadel about this discovery. Everyone else, you know what to do. Instantly, everyone in the CIC returned to their posts with hectic excitement. The crew's enthusiasm on what they might find was transparent. Do you think the debris are Prothean? A crew member asked. More likely from some unknown race, another replied. I hope so. Imagine what kind of technology we could find, the ship's Solarian researcher said. I'm more interested in the culture and art of these beings. Dropping out of FTL near the planet in 3, 2, 1. As soon the Soloria exited FTL, the ship's complex sensor technology went to work. In mere seconds, detailed scans of the planet and its surroundings flooded in. What they saw stunned them. By the goddess! This debris field is immense. They're definitely ships of some kind. Some of them are several kilometers long. That space station reaches down all the way to the planet's surface. How is that possible? Maybe it's a space elevator of some kind. I had heard of proposals for such constructions, but they were dismissed because of the immense cost. Bring up visuals of that piece right there. Elena pointed to a 2.5-kilometer-long chunk of metal that must have been a ship. The image of it came up on the screen and everyone gasped. It was a ship, and by the looks of it, clearly a warship. It was as big as the Destiny Ascension itself and had what looked like massive cannons mounted in the front. The ship design was like nothing she had ever seen before, bulky yet angular and menacing looking. The aura it gave off was clear. Don't mess with me. Further scrutiny revealed a large, almost surgical hole pierced through the midsection of the ship. Elena wondered what kind of weapon could have caused such a clean cut. There were many other ships similar to that one, all gray, drab, and boxy, with similar wounds. Captain, take a look at this! I don't believe it! Lenora brought up an image of a ship of distinctly different design. Unlike the others, which were very angular, this one had smooth curves with almost no hard-cut edges to speak of. The color was also an interest of note. Purple instead of gray, white, or blue like most ships she had seen. But those qualities, while interesting, was not what shocked the crew to its core. No, what grabbed everyone's attention was the sheer size of the ship. It was clearly broken into two pieces, with what looked like the front end of the ship being an astounding 17 kilometers, and the rear, drifting nearby, being another 10. Lenora, Elena stammered. Are you sure these readings are accurate? There's no way a ship could be that size. Yes, I've rescanned twice already. This massive ship is broken up. I already ran the parts through the VI to determine what it would look like whole. The main screen went to a virtual simulator of the two parts slowly coming together. The front end of the ship looked like a large dome or teardrop, Elena noted, and eventually narrowed into a thin, relatively speaking, bridge-like structure that connected to the rear end. According to this, that ship when whole was over 27 kilometers long. Silence. All across the CIC, everyone quieted at Lenora's proclamation. Elena just stared dumbfounded. 27 kilometers? That's 9 times the size of the Destiny Ascension. Goddess, that's over half the size of the Citadel itself. Interesting, Morlat spoke, his chin in hand, deep in thought. No signs of Element Zero, no none at all. In fact, with the exception of the mass relay, there's no Element Zero in entire system. Corvin dismissed that claim. That's impossible. All FTL flight utilizes Element Zero. It's the basis for all practical space travel. It was true, and Element Zero was used not only for FTL, but for virtually every advanced technology in the galaxy, whether it be weaponry, communications, shields, flight, holographic interfaces, and a host of countless other electronics and gadgets. Put simply, galactic society would not exist without it. So why didn't these ships have it? There's more, Morlat continued, undeterred by Corvin's dismissal. Debris field is recent. Yes, very recent. Some ships still producing power. Small amounts, but detectable. Radiation from planet Scar recent too. Not natural. Planet scorched through unknown means. Hold on. Suddenly Morlot's hand flew across the hollow interface as he input complex formulas and equations that the other crew couldn't hope to understand. Yes, based on half-life decay of radiation, planet Scar occurred roughly 70 years ago. Elena raised her brow. That little tidbit surprised her. This whole time she had been under the impression that they have stumbled upon the ruins of an ancient species, perhaps even Prothean. But whatever happened here occurred just 70 years ago? A blink of an eye in galactic terms? What about that large structure reaching down to the planet? What can you tell me about that? The structure appears to be made up of 2 large arcs connected by 6 spars, Lenora began. There are 7 strands that reach down to the planet's surface. One of the strands is shattered a few kilometers above the planet. The length is just over 4 kilometers. And I presume those strands lead to somewhere? One moment, Lenora said as she typed at her console. Here, detailed optic scans of the planet's surface that the strands lead to. Images of what were clearly destroyed buildings and intricate roads were displayed on the screen. Elena noted 2 things. 1, this city must have once held a sizable population, and 2, whatever occurred here completely devastated the region. Thermal signatures detect no signs of activity. The place is completely dead. Corvin twitched his mandibles in anticipation. He knew that they had just made a huge discovery, probably the biggest in centuries. What technological marvels could these beings have possessed? How could they build such immense structures? Did they manage to discover another way of practical space travel, as evidenced by the lack of EZO? He finally spoke up, voicing a question that everyone was thinking. Captain, are we going to search through the ruins? All eyes turned to Elena. She scanned through the faces of her crew, eager and excitement present. She felt the